What is happening? Welcome to the Plus Pitch Podcast, your morning pitching podcast from PitcherList.com. My name is Nick Pollack. Today is July 21st, and yes, we are going to talk about baseball. My sincere apologies. The Friday before the break, I had absolutely no voice, and I just could not do a podcast. And then, of course, it was the All-Star break where I was in Cape Cod, so I was off for 5 days, and I am back now. I am back now, though, for only 10 days. I think I'm going to still do the Plus Pitch podcast. I don't feel like I can take another break like that. I'm going to be in Austria for a friend's wedding, essentially. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I apologize in advance, but we're going to talk about baseball from yesterday's games right now. Gavin Williams. This is Journey Williams. If you don't know, Bernie Williams actually had an album called The Journey Within, which is kind of cool, and it's a gorgeous graphic done by Justin Paradis here. And oh my gosh, if you have been a Gavin Williams manager this season, it has been quite the journey, hasn't it? We've gone through all the things of no command, has command, no command. Is the cutter coming? Yes, it is, but then it's not being used, but then now it is, but now you've lost velocity and extension, but now it's all coming together, and then it's not, and now it is, and now there's a sinker, and now it's a sinker, sweeper approach to right-handers, four-seamer, cutter, curve to left-handers, and it resulted in 7 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 11 strikeouts with a King Cole against the Athletics. Okay, first of all, awesome. Are you saying with this, he's a hipster? We don't know if this is real. And also 47% strikes in the curveball. That was his most thrown pitch. He also threw 20 sinkers to just 5 four-seamers to right-handers. And I'm glad that he got all the called strikes against the Athletics on this, but is that just the Athletics? Is this something that he can reliably do? Can he get over 60% strikes on sweepers to right-handers moving forward? I don't know. The good news is that he's going to get the Royals and Rocky Road next. So he's going into Kansas City. A good place to pitch. Hopefully that works out for Gavin Williams. I can't tell you that he's now turned the corner. Everything's great. But it does seem like the sinker addition is a good thing. And he's at 7+ extension on those. I believe it was 7.1 or 7.2 on the sinker. So that's helping. I just wish, I don't know, it was just more consistent and not throwing your most thrown pitch. That was like 25 to 30% of usage at sub 50% strikes. It's so weird. Okay, Aaron Savali did really well against the Pirates, and we're happy for him. He finally did things that worked. The cutter and curve were spotted well with the sinker and four-seamer around the outside of the zone instead of just sputtering inside of it. So we're glad to see they took advantage of the Pirates for 6 Ks and 6 innings of 0 runs and 4 base runners. But he gets the Cubs next, and okay, Aaron Savali, just kind of do the same things. That'd be great, but we don't trust you to have success here. David Peterson got the Reds carpet, so of course he did well against the Cincinnati Reds in Citi Field. 6 innings, 0 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. Good stuff there. Cade Horton had a stream against the Red Sox, and this was interesting because I thought he was going to go on Monday, but then they changed it all of a sudden. Welcome to the All-Star break and the confusion of the weekend after. And we had a great start. 5.2 innings of 0 runs, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 4 Ks. That's cool. The changeup was around the down and away quadrant, but not actually at the point we wanted to be. So only 36% strikes on that pitch. But then the sweeper had 13 thrown for 6 whiffs and a ton of strikes against right-handers. He kind of flipped them in the zone a bit, but whatever. It was the Red Sox on the road. So I'm not totally sold on this with Cade Horton. I don't feel that his command is particularly great. And his stuff isn't so overwhelming, but it is a cut four-seamer that he throws strikes. It is a sweeper that should do well against right-handers. And the changeup is generally getting there. I mean, it is a process. It is development. And he does get the White Sox and the Orioles and the Cardinals. And that seems like something you want for a winning ball club pitcher like Cade Horton, right? Okay, cool. Chris Bubich went against the Marlins, got the win. 5 innings of 0 runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, and just 2 strikeouts, 9 whiffs. And he was down to 90-91 across 66 pitches. What's up here? Oh, he was dealing with an illness. And it might actually be a good thing overall because it was a win still. And you got good things, sure, 2 strikeouts, and you wanted more volume, I guess, an expression of those good ratios. But hopefully this helps with the fatigue factor a little bit. Like, hey, you didn't have to go so far. You're maybe going to get skipped or something next time. I don't know. But he didn't have to exert himself so much in this one, so maybe this is all a general good. We'll see. I am a little worried that Chris Bubich will lose his value as the season goes on with some limitations. Also, we might just see some general fatigue of his performance, but this was him being sick, so don't treat this game as an expression of any of that. Joe Ryan against the Rockies in Coors. Yeah, he still was incredible. He got the win. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts. A 2.63 ERA, a .9 whip this year, a 10-4 record with a 29% K rate. That is Joe Ryan. I gotta say, I'm a little tempted to put him into tier 1. The thing is, his total inning volume is like he's like 20th in the majors. He's not going as far into games as Crochet or Wheeler are as consistently, but this is 7 innings here, 88 pitches. I might just put him at the top of tier 2 because I do have some worry about Max Free in the blister, and Joe Ryan is insanely good for your fantasy teams, okay? Tarek Skubal, he is SB number 1. He had a great game against the Rangers. You don't need me. 11 Ks with a gallows pull, 20 whiffs, 6.2 innings. All right. Marcus Stroman got the gold star. 6 innings of 1 earned run, 5 hits, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Got a win against Atlanta. This is likely the best start he'll have all season. And I was wondering how many more starts he's going to get because Cam Schlittler had an amazing debut, but then he had arm soreness and they skipped his start. And he is apparently going on Tuesday, but we'll see how that goes. And if he's firmly in the rotation there, everything's fine. Then the Yankees are expected to get another starter at the deadline, or at the very least, Luis Heel comes back. So we might see just one more of Marcus Stroman against the Phillies on the 26th, and you don't want that. But I do feel like they're going to get some extra depth. Like, why would you not do that, Yankees? It makes all the sense there, and because you don't really want Stroman going out there. This was a lovely gift. Happy birthday. You have Nick Pivetta against the Nationals, got the win, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. You're really happy with this, and you should really be happy that the home run regression that we are seeing is being limited to just a solo shot. Really smart there, Pivetta. Oh, look at you. Garrick Crochet against the Cubs, 6 innings, 1 earned run. Great. 10 base runners, 8 hits, 2 walks. He got singled out. 5 Ks, but really it's the root of the issue really is the 4-seamer going 59% strikes. You can't do that. You got to be better at that. Come on. I am really happy that Crochet has been so good. In the preseason, I was so in on this, and then I got a little worried because the extension has been down 6.7 feet. Suppose like 7.2 of last year. That's half a foot lost. That's huge. And yet he's improved himself in other aspects of his game to cover for that. So I'm really happy to see it. I didn't want to bank on those things sticking around, and it's felt like something that would eventually hit for him, but it hasn't, and it's been awesome. Jacob Latz against the Tigers. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Who is this guy? He's a lefty on the Rangers, so it's about 93, 94. With the 4-seamer that has 18 inches of vert, and he has close to 7 feet of extension. There is a little tinge of Reagan's, and what I mean by that is before Reagan's season, his breakout season, I remember talking about him in the offseason because he had an approach of 4-seamers up and these cutters in and these changeups down where the command wasn't quite there, but you could see the canopy of those pitches around the zone, right? The intent or the precision of those outside of the zone was there, but you just need to kind of get them closer in. And I love the fact that he was doing that as opposed to just this kind of random plot of pitches. And I'm seeing that from Jacob Latz a bit. You have his 4-seamer that had just a 41% strike rate, but it was all above the zone, like right above it. And it only got 17% chases, so thus the low strike rate. But then you have the changeup that does look good and has been better than expected, but still needs a little bit of command work. You have a slider there that does well against lefties, and he does like it against righties as well. And you can think to yourself, what was the biggest change of Reagan's from 2022 to 2023? Oh, right. He went from 92 and changed to 96. So, look, that's really what I'm saying is, hey, if Jacob Latz gains velocity, he might be good. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. That goes for everybody, save for maybe Cal Hendricks. But just keep an eye on Latz. I'm curious if the Rangers see this as a long-term thing, as they might have a pitcher or two be a pitcher or two lighter by September or even by over the offseason or so. They might actually be pushing Latz a little bit more, but this was really because Nathan Eovaldi was having a back issue, and we hope that that's going to be okay for the next one. Clayton Kershaw went against the Brewers, 4.1 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Oh, man. He did have an error-fueled 4th inning. with 3 runs in that one. And it definitely got to him a little bit. He's throwing splitters too, which is kind of interesting. 13th throw in this one, 39% strikes though. 2 whiffs. And his high quote-unquote heater, 88, 89. Yeah, Kershaw, you're not what you used to be, buddy. And this is I don't know. He's trying to get cheap wins for your fantasy teams. It's like 5 innings of a win on a Dodgers crew that should be winning games, but just got swept by the Brewers. I don't really want to go for Kershaw. Okay, cool. Jose Sorano is a hipster. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks, got the win. Oh, it's so good against the Phillies. He actually had a low strike rate on the curveball, but he had a high one on the sinker. It was really good down against lefties and actually away mid. It's kind of like a reverse L if you look at it with the strike zone plot against lefties. Or if you're using it from the catcher's point of view, it is an L down and away. That's all he really needs to succeed on a given night because it's a very heavy and hard bowling ball sinker. You don't know if you're going to get that on a given night, though. That's just kind of how it is, so I don't really love going after Jose Sorano. We have other guys to talk about. Trevor Rogers, Mel Kelly, Andrew Abbott. Oh, no, there are a lot of guys that had bad outings. Should you freak out? Well, I'll let you know after this break. Trevor Rogers against the Rays. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, and just 3 strikeouts. 92.3 miles per hour, not 94. And the sliders were not really utilized much. And you did have the sweeper, though, for some called strikes. But you did have changeups. 8 of them returned outs in play across a 24. That's 33% out rate. Oh, my gosh. Out percentage. Incredible. That is nice. Throw those good changeups. Get effective outs. Beautiful. You get Rocky Road next. That's fine. Like Trevor Rogers with his 4-seamer up and changeups down is the baseline. And then what really takes him to the next level is that fastball at 94 and the breaking stuff also being there. And yeah, you did have those called strikes on the sweeper, so fine. But yeah, this was not his best performance. You have Mel Kelly against the Cardinals. He's just so underrated. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, 5 Ks. We'll take the 3 ERA and a 117 whip with 5 strikeouts and a win all day. Thank you so much, Mel Kelly. You're probably going to be on another team before August arrives. So curious who that's going to be because you have a bad defense behind you and it should get better. Andrew Abbott against the Mets, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks. He had a completely different thing here. Usually we see changeups heavy with curveballs involved and then 4-seamers just staying up against right-handers. We barely saw that changeup, and we pretty much just saw 4-seamers. Some of them were up, and most of them were low. And then you had some cutters as well go inside to them, some sprinkle of breaking balls against righties. And then against lefties, your standard affair of high heaters and then down and away sweepers. That's all cool. But kind of interesting, they changed his tune. We did see some struggles before the break. That should feel much better now, so we just keep rolling with Andrew Abbott, especially against the Rays next. Grant Holmes against the Yankees, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. So that's a very poor quality start with a loss and just 2 strikeouts. You got nothing for this one. Very, very unfortunate. Unless you're in a quality star league, then I guess you're happy, but really you shouldn't be. Grant Holmes kind of did his thing. Sliders were generally good. And he got bamboozled for 3 runs in the first, including a solo shot from Aaron Judge. But really, this was mostly the supporting cast not doing enough. Like the cutter, the curve, the 4-seamer, Slider's still really good, so we just move on. Hunter Brown, oh my gosh. You've had now 3 games with at least 3 earned runs after allowing 3 runs or more in just 2 of your first 17. So 17 games where 15 of them were under 3 earned runs. And now you've had 3 of them going out 3 earned runs or more. Oh, straight. And 4 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 3 runs. My gosh. 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 7 Ks. I apologize. For Hunter Brown here, his fastball's still great. 97 miles per hour plus. The curveball let him down. The changeup let him down. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we just keep rolling with it. It's just really frustrating the moment that I say, hey, look, Hunter Brown, fine. I'm going to give you the aces, going to ace tag. You have 1 good game after that, and then these 3. And it's just, this is what I was worried about, I guess. But honestly, I'm still seeing it and be like, yeah, well, yeah, you should still be doing well. Hermmon Marquez against the Twins, 3 innings, 3 earned runs, blah, blah, blah. You should not be starting him. Brian Wu had a good game in 4 innings. And then it was a tough 4th frame and 2 solo shots in the 6th. And all of a sudden, it's 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Womp womp. He still looks amazing. And he's still not fully unlocked because it really is just four-seamer sinker for the most part. I don't know why he's not throwing more sweepers to right-handers, especially against this Astros lineup. It was effective in the 7 that he threw, and I feel like it should have been utilized more. Jose Quintana did well against the Dodgers, believe it or not. He got the win in 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 0 walks, and 5 Ks. Just 4 hits. And he allowed 2 home runs for 3 of those earned runs to his name. He also had a 50% strike rate on his sinker, his most thrown pitch. And you had 0 walks in this. Why? Because the curve, the four-seam, and the changeup were able to find a lot of outs. The curve also found 4 of those strikeouts. It was a very effective curveball in this one. So, do you feel good enough with Quintana against the Marlins and Nationals? Maybe. I didn't really love the changeup so much in this one. It really was the curveball pulling it forward. But that could work. It's Quintana. The Brewers are winning games. Sure, if you really want to. Jose Barrios against the Giants got a win, but it was 5.2 innings of 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. As now he's at a 3.87 ERA and a 1.26 WHIP. Oh, the great undulator. Oh my gosh, I just don't want to deal with it. Ryan Pepio against the Orioles. Oh man, 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. That's a 117 WHIP. The thing that hurt here were 3 solo shots. One was a fastball at 96, kind of down to the pipe. One was a changeup that was down and into a lefty that was able to, swing out of there. And then you have a really bad one in full count. Really bad changeup for another solo shot to a lefty. So the cutter slider to me is actually the real problem. It's not those 2 pitches. That's supposed to be the pitch where they aren't able to go after fastballs and changeups. That's the nullifier. And those really haven't taken off for Ryan Pepio. So that's a little bit annoying. Also, don't get that fastball down. Let's keep that up, okay? I'm still going with Pepio. I think the strikeout minus walk is too good, right? Like, he gets enough strikeouts. The home runs, I know it was in George Steinbrenner Field. I get it. The home runs, blah, blah, blah. But, man, those are the noisiest of stats. And Ryan Pepio, I think, is just too good. But maybe I am too high on. Maybe the ERA is just too much of a killer for you. Fine. But I'm going to roll with him. He's not top 30, though. Like, I understand that. I should not be expecting Pepio to have a breakout second half now. Jansen Junk against the Royals, just when I was like, all right, fine, I get it. The breakers are all right. He loses them. The slider had just a 50% strike rate. So what does he do? 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, and just 1 strikeout. How am I supposed to butter my bread with that? And his four-seamer got walloped. 5 ideal contact for batters is really high. It's essentially our better version of hard hit rate for us. Man, he could still do it against the Marlins. Sorry, not the Marlins, the Brewers, if he has those breakers back. But yeah, this is kind of why I didn't like Jansen Junk. It's more command focused than it is really stuff focused. Robbie Ray against the Jays was very disappointing. 4.1 innings of 5 earned runs, 5 hits, 5 walks, and 3 Ks. Why? Because it was a very bad strike rate. 53% on the four-seamer, and the slider hit a 47%. Those are the 2 most thrown pitches he has. The changeup at least went 60% strikes with 6 whiffs, but yeah, no, this was just a bad day. And I got to say, Toronto is really, really good at home. So be careful. I think I see Cam Schlittler tomorrow against the Jays. I was really tempted just to say do not start for that one, but he's just so fun. But yeah, that is going to be a tough one. Miles Michaelis did not do well in Arizona because, yeah, duh. Jeffrey Springs, no sunshine and rainbows against the Guardians in Cleveland. Even though he had a good changeup, it was 5 earned runs in 4 innings. You just don't want to do it. Ranger Suarez, very disappointing one. This was the first stumble we've seen since his first game back. And that was the IL start, and I believe it was 6 earned runs in about 3 and change. And even then I said, oh no, but hold on, the command was there, so you should be encouraged. But this one was not. He did not go down and away effectively to right-handers. It was 4.1 innings, 6 earned runs against the Angels. 8 hits, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 4 whiffs, and 19% CSW across 100 pitches. And the biggest thing I said before the break was Ranger Suarez has these runs, and then he gets interrupted, and it goes south. And this was 9 days between starts because of the All-Star break. 9 days. So think about that a bit. It is a lefty against a right-handed lineup. They are better against it. Fine. You're going to start him in the next one, but what is it? It's the Yankees? I think you still are going to. He's deserved that. But still, it's just, yeah, it's a little tenuous, right? You have Andrew Heaney Against the White Sox, you have 4 innings of 7 earned runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. How am I supposed to butter my bread with this? Very disappointing. But just remember, Andrew Heaney is Andrew Heaney. Even against the White Sox, if he doesn't have it on, is not going to be good. And Mackenzie Gore, very disappointing against the Padres. 2-point innings of 8 earned runs. He got bamboozled with a grand slam in the first inning. His curve and slider had 21% non-competitive rates. And by the way, if you haven't read that article on Pitcher List about non-competitive rate, you got to do it. It is illuminating, to say the least. It is a really fun stat. Non-competitive rate essentially quantifies the thing that you already know watching pitchers. The guys who are super wild and everything. Like, you know that at heart, but we didn't have a good stat for it because it's more than just walk rate. And you should definitely read that one. Kyle Blaine put that out. Fantastic. With Mackenzie Gore, though, it just wasn't his day. All right, what are you going to do? You keep starting the fella. But that is it for this one. Thank you all so much for listening and sticking with the Plus Pitch podcast. Yes, you're going to get it all week and all that fun stuff. But that is it for today. So my name is Nick Pollack, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.